Hey, my name is Zunair and I'm here with Forum Test Prep. I'm both an MCAT CARS tutor as well as a 132 scorer, and today I'm going to take you through this MCAT CARS passage titled Massacio and Masolino. So the first thing we're going to do is read the passage and highlight anything that we deem is important. Okay, so question 1 is asking us, which of the following is least likely to be seen in a typical painting of Adam, Eve, and the fall? So our answer choices are Adam's left arm covering his breast, Eve's right hand covering her groin, a nude image of Eve, and a fig leaf wearing Adam. So for this question, what we need to do is eliminate the answer choices that we have already seen in the passage. We even highlighted this here, where both Adam and Eve share one gesture. The right hand covers the groin here. The right hand covers the groin while the left arm hides the breast. So we can eliminate both A and B. B can be eliminated, as well as A, because in the earlier photos, they're both doing the same thing, left arm over the breast, right hand over the groin. Now we're left with a nude image of Eve or a fig leaf wearing Adam. In fact, in this same example that we've described previously, they're both not wearing any clothes. So we can even eliminate this one because this one would give us an example of a nude image of Eve using only her hands for covering herself. And so that leaves us with D, a fig leaf wearing Adam, which is mentioned nowhere in the passage. Question 2 is asking us, which of the following relationships is most like the suggested relationship of Adam to Eve post-fall in the last paragraph of the passage? So let's go to the last paragraph and look at it this way. Post-fall, it says it is only with the fall, here we highlighted this again, coincidentally, it is only with the fall that woman becomes conscious of being the object of the gaze, and her anxiety at being an object of vision is accompanied by Adam's reluctance to be its agent. This is how Adam feels about gazing upon Eve after the fall, reluctance to watch. So which of these examples talks about a reluctance to watch? A photographer to a famous fashion model. A photographer, it's his job to watch. There's no reason for the photographer to be reluctant. So we can eliminate A. B, a sculptor to the sculptor Michelangelo's famous work. A sculptor to Michelangelo's work would be studying this or even looking at it very intently or enjoying it. So we can certainly eliminate this. There's no feelings of anxiety or discomfort here. C, a mother to the televised execution of her son. Now this is something where not only would the object of the vision be uncomfortable, but also the person watching would be deeply uncomfortable and reluctant to watch, as a mother would not like to watch the televised execution of her son. And then D, a baseball hitter to the pitch that will win a game. This would be maybe excitement, this would be enjoyment, maybe nervousness, but none of these would be reluctance to be the agent. It's his job to hit the ball. So C is our best answer for question 2. Question 3 is tricky, and this is a very common style of question that you'll get from the CARS section. Which of the following assertions is most susceptible to empirical verification or refutation? A says the fall represents a dramatic change in the state of humanity. And what we'll do for these types of questions is we'll eliminate the answer choices that we deem to be subjective and the least that are easily proven. A, the fall depicts a dramatic change in the state of humanity. We have no way of proving if this change is dramatic, or, to be honest, if it's in the state of humanity. So we can eliminate A. B, Massacio and Masolino painted 2 important biblical events. So this already is a true statement, which is that they did paint these things. And this is important biblically, and these are mentioned in the Bible, as the passage shows us here, within the text, as well as accorded any textual specification, meaning these are from the text. And B looks decent. C, the covered eyes of Massacio's Adam suggests that he feels guilty. All this is a reasonable answer, and if we had access to Massacio, maybe we'd be able to ask him. But since he's dead, we have no way of proving that the covered eyes suggests guilty beyond our feelings. We have no way of empirically or objectively verifying this. So although this is probably true, we can eliminate it because we can't objectively prove it. And then answer choice D, in Masolino's The Temptation, Eve is comfortable with Adam's gaze. This is the same issue as in answer choice C, because we have no way of proving whether these people feel good or bad just based on them being within the painting. We can eliminate this as well. Straight through, which leaves us with answer choice B, Massacio and Masolino painted 2 important biblical events. What you should know about this is that none of the answers are really that great because important itself is a subjective word. We have no way of proving the importance beyond people reading it, but of these 4 answers, B is still the best, which is why we choose it. Question 4 is asking us, the discussion of the sentiments visualized by Massacio best support the passage assertion that. So this is an interesting question. For this, you had to understand the main idea of the passage. And the main idea of the passage was very strong as the passage got towards its end, when they talked about Adam's covering his eyes with his fingers as a sign of shame, Eve's pressing her breast with the palm of her hand as a sign of grief. This is one part. And then they repeat it again, where they say women experience melancholy and men shame, referring to after the fall. And then finally they say, as Eve is despondent, Adam is burdened by embarrassment. The point here is that after the fall, the main idea of this passage is that after the fall, Adam becomes uncomfortable looking at Eve, and Eve becomes uncomfortable being looked at. So, A is incorrect. Adam and Eve are usually painted in similar manners because the passage is talking about how Massacio and Masolino painted them differently. Now, A is referenced here at the beginning where they had the same gesture, but this is only at the beginning. It does not follow through the entire passage, so we can eliminate A. C, Adam and Eve use their arms to cover their bodies. Actually, let's go through B first. Adam and Eve are unhappy for 2 different reasons. This already sounds like the best answer because it describes what they explain to us at the end, but let's keep moving forward. Adam and Eve use their arms and hands to cover their bodies. Although this is true, and they talk about it in a couple different places, we have no proof that this is the main idea of this passage. This isn't the assertion best supported by the discussion of sentiments. This is just happens to be true. And this effect happens again in D. Adam and Eve are central to 2 important events in the Bible. For this we can say, okay, true, but so what? We have no way of this relating to Massacio and Masolino other than the fact that Adam and Eve within the paintings that are described in this passage are unhappy for 2 different reasons. Question 5 is asking us, the author explains that Massacio's painting of Adam and Eve is different from those of most painters because. So it's asking us why they're different. They tell us about the previous depictions of Adam and Eve at the beginning of the passage, where they say, consequently, from here, artists tended to visualize the fall in such a way that Adam and Eve share one and the same gesture. The right hand covers the groin while the left arm covers the breast. That's how they used to do it. But the point of this passage is showing how Massacio and Masolino both change the body positioning of Adam and Eve. Massacio's Eve echoes this pose in the torso, but the pathetic upward gaze and the contracted motion of a body withdrawing at the pace of expulsion are original features. So the way she physically is acting is different. Same thing with Adam. The model is changed entirely by Massacio. And the difference here is the way that they're behaving. So Massacio's painting of Adam and Eve is different from those of most painters because he's giving them different gestures. Eve has this pathetic upward gaze here, as we can see. And Adam, the model has changed entirely. So answer choice, question 5 is answer choice C. Finally, question 6 is asking us which view expressed by the author is most important for readers to share if they are to be convinced of the merits of the passage argument. So the passage argument here is that based on Massacio and Masolino's depictions of Adam and Eve, we can see that either here women experience melancholy and men shame after the fall, or we can see that Eve is despondent and Adam is embarrassed, or that Eve has grief and Adam covers his eyes with his fingers. This one's the best one in particular. But which of these, if you didn't believe, would make the passage completely irrelevant or useless? And so the best answer choice just sticking out of the page is D, feelings can be communicated through gestures. If I don't believe that feelings can be communicated through gestures, then this very important sentence, Eve's pressing her breast with the palm of her hand is a sign of grief, Adam's covering his eyes with his fingers is a sign of shame. If I don't believe that gestures can communicate feelings, then I'm going to think this whole passage is nonsense, because I'm going to think that this most important sentence in the passage is nonsense. For that reason, D is the best answer.